got some questions. We've been collating them. Collating questions throughout the show.
From the chat, sure.
K Frito's in here. Hello, K Frito. He's one of mine.
Oh, yeah? Oh, that's great.
Hi, K Frito. Would the Soul Stone know if Natasha was a Skrull? For sure.
I mean, why would it matter? The
A
Soul
life
Stone...
is a life. A soul is a soul.
Right, exactly. I don't think it would matter. I don't think the Soul Stone would go, not human. It's
Or
like
does not compute. The soul doesn't match the face.
Soul Stone's got grabbed by Thanos, a Titan, and it's being guarded by Red Skull, a Nazi. Like, Soul Stone doesn't discriminate. It'll let anybody walk up and do whatever.
Do Nazis have souls? That's a loaded question.
That's a great question. No, and that's maybe why Johann Schmidt, Hugo Weaving's character, was chosen to be the
also an Aussie.
Soulless. Yes. But to be fair, I have to credit this. In Infinity War and Endgame, it was
Ross Marquand.
It was Ross Marquand. It was not Hugo Weaving. Hugo said, I'm done, mate.
They didn't pay what Hugo wanted.
And sure, I'm sure.
Sorry, inside
That's
entertainment
fine.
baseball.
And Ross said, I'll do it. And Ross was great. He's also done
do you want
James
me to do that
Spader
voice?
Ultron.
I can do it. He sure does.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's the guy that you call if we're like, we can't get the guy. Can you be the guy? And he's
awesome.
like, I'll be the guy.
It's awesome. Yeah. Half of Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny is his ADR. I'm kidding. I have no idea. But I know that he does a great Harrison Ford.
Yes.
Wait.
Anyway, hey, we got another one.
Yeah.
Do you reckon it's Badgerly or Baggerly?
I'm going to say Baggerly.
Baggerly.
Yeah.
So like the bags under my eyes. Baggerly.
Stop.
Well, it's early. And I didn't sleep much, really, let's be honest. 4th of July, fireworks, got a dog. Episode comes out after midnight. I watched it at 2:15, 2:13, actually.
I know. That's late.
But it was a shorter episode.
That's late. Yeah.
Hey, why don't the Skrulls move to the garden where Thanos resided after the snaps?
After the snap.
Permission.
So Thanos was killed on that garden after the snap. Yeah, and you know what's so funny? Carol was there. Carol Danvers with the Avengers.
Was she watering the garden?
At the beginning of Avengers Endgame, they go to Thanos, they chop that dude's head off, and then it goes 5 years later. And right there you go, Carol, that's a habitable planet that is now empty because Thanos ain't there. Why didn't you get the Skrulls to go to that planet? Even if it's the remaining 50% of the Skrulls that have been blipped, move them there.
Is Carol becoming a bit of a plot hole?
Potentially, but I'm sure that only until it's not addressed. And the beauty and the cheat of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is that it is ongoing forever. So it
will be explained.
Any valid criticism could always be addressed.
Your patience is appreciated.
The criticism of the movie The Incredible Hulk. But they never did anything with that Tim Blake Nelson character, the leader. Guess what? He's coming back in the new Captain America movie like 15 years later.
Eric Bana, Australian.
Okay, that's kind of related. He might show up in Secret Wars. I don't know.
But Skrulls and Thanos have the same chin pattern.
Yeah, they do.
Are they related?
No relation.
Well,
as far
okay.
as we know, no relation.
Cool.
I don't know. Maybe Skrull's maybe Thanos' great granddaddy was a Skrull. I don't know. But the question is an important one to bring up. The more and more you introduce audiences to the larger Marvel universe and all these other planets and worlds, the more we're going to be like, why haven't the Skrulls been relocated? You're going to have to answer that. If it's not answered in this show, if like Fury and Carol Danvers don't straight up stand next to each other and go, here's why we didn't move you guys.
There was a plague.
Because this.
Famine.
Because this. If the Marvels movie doesn't do it, because the Marvels movie is also going to have Carol answer to the fact that she never came back and visited young Monica. So Monica's going to have beef with Carol.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But then Carol's going to go, look, here's a reason I didn't come back. How did they explain it
XYZ.
in Guardians of the Galaxy? Peter Quill never returned to Earth because that's where his mom died.
Yeah, he doesn't want to go back
It made sense.
Yeah.
So for Carol, same thing. Is there a reason?
Just make it make sense.
Make it make sense.
And do you know what Marvel's got, the writers have got, that
Yeah.
they're very lucky to have sometimes? Diehard fans that see these plot holes.
Sure, and just
they
point
go,
them out online. Yeah. It's great. Because, in fact, I think that's where the Spider-Man in Iron Man 2 theory came from, I think.
Oh.
I don't know if it's true or not, but a fan, after Tom Holland appeared in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, a fan was like, wait, that little kid in Iron Man 2 who shows up in New York at the World's Fair with the Iron Man helmet, is that Peter Parker? And maybe somebody at Marvel got wind of it and went, that's clever, we like that. And they confirmed it. And now it is retroactively
synergy.
Peter Parker.
Great. Curbs has asked a question. Could Sharon Carter be a Skrull?
Yep.
Her becoming the power broker seemed a little out of character.
Yep. She's 100% a Skrull. 100%. Talking to Gravik. She's a Skrull. She's the power broker. She's got access to underworld tech, resources, from her base in Madripoor. 100%.
I could argue, I understand this is the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but rejection's a hell of a motivation. How many girls get their hair cut after a breakup?
All of them. I think is the statistic.
She just underwent sort of like a power hungry
Steve
phase.
Rogers?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
it's
get
possible.
Didn't get Steve.
But
Got rejoed.
I want to say that Emily Van Camp's character Sharon Carter was maybe a little. Here's the other thing. Is that she grew up hearing about her aunt Peggy.
By her aunt.
I know, but she kind of always
I'd be
heard the
furious
stories.
after that.
She heard the stories of
Gang leader? Sounds great.
Of her aunt telling her like I knew Captain America. And then when her aunt's super, super old, Captain America comes back from the ice, I'm sure Sharon was like, well, he's a cutie. But I'm sure Sharon was also like, man, it's so sad that they can't be together. Maybe Sharon's going to be more understanding. Because that's not how it happened in the comic books.
Oh, how did it happen?
In the comic books, Captain America met Peggy Carter very briefly. And Peggy Carter was like a French resistance fighter in World War II. Peggy Carter. And it was very, very brief. And then when he was thawed out of the ice 20-some years later, because it was the 60s, not the 2020s or whatever, 2010s, he met her niece, Sharon, and he kind of had a closer relationship with Sharon. And Sharon started working with Sharon as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent for years. So I feel like in the comic books, it makes more sense that Steve is with Sharon. But the movie set it up to be like, it's Haley Atwell.
Yeah.
It's Haley Atwell. It's always been Haley Atwell.
Yeah.
So maybe Emily Van Camp's version of the character would be understanding for that.
Yep.
But maybe you're right. Maybe she just cut her hair, decided to be a power broker. Who cares?
I care. We've got a question from Habasso and Nerd Girl Jean asking questions about the fracking pods.
Okay.
Those fracking pods. Sorry, I'm too Battlestar Galactica with that word still. How long do you think that they've been using them? Would bodies in the pods be dusted during the blip?
Ooh, that's a great question.
And then they actually come back and it's like,
like in a pod, yeah. So
I'm back!
Yeah. So so they really never knew that something. I think it's possible.
See, this is where, we are going through with a fine-tooth comb. We are backtracking. We are frack tracking. And it's like, make it make sense.
There is a possibility. I mean, again, this is why, because if the question comes up, why don't the Skrulls just kill a human when they replace them? This is why.
Yeah.
Because they've been through the blip. So what if, check out this scenario, right? Let's say that I'm a Skrull and you're Maude Garrett and I'm replacing you. They kidnap you, you're in a fracking pod. Then Thanos snaps and then I get dusted.
Yeah.
I still got you.
Yeah.
Another Skrull could come in and replace you. You're still in the pod asleep, you're a human. Another Skrull could replace you. But let's say that that I'm replacing you and you're in the fracking pod, but you get dusted.
Blip. Yep.
Shit, now I'm Maude Garrett 24/7. I'm you for the whole rest of the 5 years. Gosh, but then you come back.
Yeah.
But then it's like, oh, then it's okay. Nothing ever really happened. You've been in the fracking pod the whole time.
So one scenario makes absolute sense. The other one, woo.
Could be wild.
Wild.
But then if I'm the Skrull and then I get dusted, but then somebody else replaces me as you.
See, this is
then I come back, it's just like, I'm just a Skrull. It's fine.
Marvel's doing things that permanently affect things in a huge way.
Absolutely.
Blip, huge way. And variables, absolutely. But it's a constant.
They've been getting into it. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the great criticism of Avengers Endgame came out, and then a few months later, Spider-Man: Far From Home with Samuel Jackson addressed it, but everyone was like, "Come on, they're just silly about it. They're just going to leave the blip. They're just going to leave the snap and never talk about it."
Address it with humor.
But then for the next 2-3 years, everything has been talking about the Thanos snap.
Yeah.
So
Sarah Hatchadurian has got a question. First attempt. Long word. Many syllables. What percentage chance does Vara have of dying, in your opinion?
Man.
Does Fury have to kill her?
Can I say
for the sake of the world?
0%? Why would she die?
Fury has to kill her.
Here's a thought.
Producer John? Go ahead.
Fury's got to go back to Saber for the Marvels. Isn't that a little bit of a betrayal of the arc that they're setting up?
No.
He should stay on Earth to be with Buck.
He's leaving again.
No, because I don't know if the internet was able to pick up everything.
Is he running from or running towards?
I think our producer was saying if Fury is left with no wife and left with maybe no Talos, wouldn't it make sense that he would then go up to the Saber Station again, as we saw in the Marvels?
They would tie that off nicely.
I would say no. Check this out.
Okay.
Remember the end of Iron Man 3?
Yeah.
When Tony Stark was really had PTSD and he built all these suits, and Pepper Potts was like, I can't with you right now. I can't. And then at the end of that movie, he blows up all the suits. Well, he was still Iron Man, but he was Iron Man in a healthier way.
Got it.
And probably with Pepper Potts being like, look, I'll have just the one suit. I need to be healthy about this. I let this obsession get the best of me.
Yeah, I was dependent
on it. So I think that the end of Secret Invasion could end with Fury with his wife reconciling and her going okay, now that you've gone through that and you've grown as a character and as a person, Can we be more with each other? I'll be here on Earth. Do you want to go to the Saber? Are you going to go back to the Saber Station? Can you do your work, but then still come back here more? And it's almost more like I am going to absolutely give you the permission and the support to go do that job because I know that you have like learned from what I told you and what you've been through, and you've maybe gotten over it or working through it, and now we can do it together.
And so she's going to be hired basically as the rehabilitation on the New Planet program?
Could be.
Okay.
Could be. I mean, could
Someone's
be.
got to do it.
I would love for Talos to be the Skrull Emperor. That'd be cool too. But a lot of things need to happen for that to happen.
Yeah, Gravik's got to go.
Kind of. I think Gravik might not make it. Or
Great
Gravik
questions,
might make
audience. Great questions.
Wonderful, wonderful questions.
Woo! I love these what ifs.
Thank you for watching us live and providing those questions and hanging out with us and getting a little taste of the behind the scenes, a little sneaky peek. We're going to be back next week with another Inside Marvel after the episode Secret Invasion episode 4, which I'm going to just ballpark.
Yeah, what do we got in it?
I'm going to it's going to be called the one where Gravik dies. What do you think it's going to be called?
Not 4.
No?
No way, no. But
Sorry.
this is where we see the super soldier army kind of come to fruition.
Oh, so it's going to be called Super Skrulls.
Yep.
Super Dash Skrulls.
Yep.
Sounds pretty good. Guys, don't forget to go try to find this comic book, The New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis, a complete collection, volume 4, but New Avengers issues 38 through 47.
Oh, yeah,
38
great.
through 47. It's so good.
So good. We're excited.
God.
We've only got 3 more episodes after this. Very exciting. We love your predictions, by the way. I read the comments. People are super brilliant, like with the scope of what could be.
Yep.
A lot of great predictions.
Yep.
And I love the fact also that we have questions hanging in cliffhangers that get answered really quickly.
I did appreciate that.
Yeah.
I did appreciate
That's good
that.
stuff.
They weren't beating around the scroll on that one. That Super Skrulls. Okay, great. Cool.
Let's go. Let's do it.
Fantastic. 4 T's, question mark. We'll find out. Guys, thanks for watching.
Subscribe to
See you next
everything.
week. Subscribe. Mods Book Club. Heroes Are Forged.
Bye.
New Rockstars. Bye.